Hey YouTubers, I was at a gun show the other day, picked up a couple things. Now first off, if you're looking for a new gun, or if I bought a new gun, I didn't, there was nothing in the budget there, but there was two I looked at. I wanted to tell you about them. This older guy had two Winchester Model 12s. He had the Skeet model and a Trap model, and he was I think he was more sentimental value to them than monetary value, because I looked them up in here. These are two gun value books. They're a little older. I think this one's like 12 years old. This one's probably 11. But anyways, just according to this, he wanted 100% brand new in the box. I mean, they were nice. He changed the wood out on the Skeet model. Like you said, he changed it out back in the early 80s. And he's one of them guys who knows the whole history of this gun, who bought it, and like he's asking me if I knew so-and-so and so-and-so, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm sure so-and-so and so-and-so has been like 30 years dead, but because this guy, he had a son that was in his 50s, so, older guy, nice enough though, but, yeah, he wanted pretty much top price for that Skeet model. And like I said, it was a 20 gauge, it had Skeet stamped in the receiver, but now the barrel said full on it, and I thought that was kind of strange. I didn't really get a chance to ask him, but it had the Simmons rib, yeah, but it had full, so it was, I don't know. Well, like I said, he changed up the wood. It was nice enough, but he wanted, like he said, $800 for it. Like I said, these are older books, and they're listed at 100% at $800. But in the Trap model he had, I forget what he wanted for that. It was quite a bit. It had the straight grip stock on it. It was nice enough though, but a little out of my budget. I figured I'd tell you about them. Maybe somebody knows the answer to that. Full choke. I didn't get a chance to look at the barrel, see if it was if he changed out the barrel, put a full one, and had it drilled for interchangeable chokes or not. Didn't have any extended ones in it. But another thing I was looking at that I thought it was kind of cool was somebody had a box of Winchester, I think they were 3840s, but they were the John Wayne edition. I think they came out in 81. I asked the guy, he said he thought he came out in the 60s, but I got home and looked them up. I didn't get those because he wanted, I think, $80 for the box. But he opened up the box and pulled one out, and it had the head stamp Winchester, and it said Duke on it. And I was looking at it, and I said, oh, those are nice. They're nickel plated. He goes, oh, no, those aren't nickel. They're stainless steel. And then nowhere on the internet have I found that they're stainless steel, so if somebody knows, has some, and if I'm pretty sure they're nickel, but whatever, if I'm wrong, hey, like I said, I'm no historian, so it'd be kind of nice to know. But anyways, gone to what I did buy, is I got this here, make sure I'm in focus. It's a setup for speed loaders for PPC, which is Police Pistol Combat. Now, these speed loaders are for the 586, 357 Magnum, Smith & Wesson. I don't have a 586 yet, but I know the guy who I bought these off of. He shoots at the club. I shoot with him every now and then, and he has a 586 still. He sold the holster and everything else for it, but he still got the gun. So, I might be showing off a new 357 Magnum if I talk him into selling it, and I have the money to buy it. So I got those. Just kind of a neat tray. You put your speed loaders there. You shoot, I think it's 60 rounds. And so you need a bunch of speed loaders, so you don't have to reload them. I thought it was kind of cool. He's got some different homemade holders, plus these ones here, screwed to this tray. He's got some dummy rounds for practice. So I got that. And I got this here, which is kind of cool. I don't know if this is a reproduction or what, but it kind of goes along with the cool ammo boxes. And it's Peters. Now these are 28 gauge. Now, I know some people have never heard of the 28 gauge, so at the end of this, for anybody who already has, I'm going to do a comparison. I know there's a bunch on there, but I'll do a comparison for any new shooters that don't know where the 28 gauge fits in. But anyways, these are Peters Skeet loads, and number 9, 2 3/4 shells. Now I know they're a bit older because on the side of the box it has reloading information, and they list unique as Hercules. It hasn't been Hercules in I don't know how long, a few years, so that might give you an indication of how old this box is. I haven't found any a year on it or nothing, but I thought it was kind of cool. I don't have a 28 gauge. I was with a buddy of mine. He thought that was just hilarious that I was buying shells for a gun that now I got to go buy the gun for. Thought that was kind of funny. Like I said, the guy I bought them off of, you know, and now it gives me an excuse to go buy a 28 gauge. These are what they look like. Yeah, so they're a little bit older. Got some tarnish. Remington Peters. I won't focus, but yeah, number 9. So I gotta say, I was always kind of prejudiced towards the 28 gauge because I figured, you know, that's kind of a, I don't know, for lack of a better word, the snooty, over and under rich guy round. But they did make it, and actually for the Canadians, the Cooey, which I think they were bought out by Winchester by then, the 840 in a 28 gauge. So I've seen a few of them online, not for sale, but people have had them. So I'll have to look for one of those. Plus, there's something else. Oh, the Remington Model 1100 comes in a 28. Now I know the guy I usually shop at, the gun store I go to, he's got a 28, and I didn't ask him what it was because I was looking for something else. I was looking for, I think, what was it, a Mossberg 500 in 16 gauge, because I wanted to get one of each for, you know, for funsies. But he had a 28, and I didn't ask him what it was because I didn't really think I'd ever buy one. But unfortunately, he's closed right now. Hopefully he opens back up. He's got some health problems, which is unfortunate because I like his shop. It's really small, but it is crammed full of older stuff. I mean, he's got some high-end over and unders, but he's got a lot of, that's where I bought most of my military rifles. But he's got a lot of shotguns, just like you've probably seen in the stores. Nothing's in racks. Everything's just kind of piled. Like there's one rack and stuff piled in corners and whatnot, and you know, papers and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of a cool store to go to. You kind of dig through the stuff. But yeah, he's unfortunately closed right now. The guy smokes like a chimney, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So hopefully, you know. But anyways, so that's what I got. I'll show you the comparison to these in a second. I also want to show off this while I'm doing this. Now this isn't mine, and I didn't get it at the gun store, or I mean the gun show. But I thought it was really cool, so hang on, let me grab it. Probably won't be able to get it all into focus, but it's right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to set it up here, and I'm going to take you off the tripod, so it's going to get a little shaky. No, it's not a gun, but if you keep going up, it's a crossbow. Now this ain't mine, this is a buddy of mine's. He's got steel limbs on him. There's the foot handle, and it's got these, I don't know if these came on originally, they're made out of aluminum. And those hold the string on here. The string is just some piece of cord. I'll have to go get a new string made for it. I have to get one custom made or whatever, but yeah, he bought this. Actually, what he was doing is he went online to Kijiji. I don't know if they have that in the States or not, but online classified ads, and he was looking for one of these machetes. He found one really cheap. So he went to the guy's house. The guy's like, oh, you want anything else? You know, I got a crossbow for sale. And my buddy's, he's on a really tight budget too, and he's like, well, I ain't got the money for that. He goes, oh, come on, how about $20? And he goes, I'll be right back. Ran to the car, told the old lady to give him $20, so this is what he got. Now, we don't have any bolts for it yet. So what I'm going to use, I'm just going to use some of those fiberglass ones I got. Get it set up. I'll probably bring it to a actually bow shop and get some bolts cut for it, but I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to show that off. I forget, you looked it up online what year it was made, but I can't remember offhand. I just figured I'd show it off. I asked if I could make a video of it. Anybody's never seen one before? I think they're pretty cool. To try my William Tell shot with this baby. So that's pretty much it for the gun show and this stuff. And now I'm going to show you the comparison of the shotgun shells. So if anybody signs off now, thanks for watching. And for the rest of you, hold on a minute. So like I was saying earlier, I was always kind of prejudiced against the 28 gauge. It's not really readily available in the big box type hardware stores that I usually buy my shells at. And I kind of figured, you know, it's only available in the high-end over and unders. Then I was reading some articles on it, and Remington had their 1100 in a 28. I don't know if they're still available or not. Plus their 870, the Model 12 Winchester, you can get it in a 28. And also that Cooey 840, I was really surprised that it came out in a 28, a little more rare, but I'd like to get one someday. So, like I said, I bought these at a gun show. I only paid $8. It's not a full box, but kind of like the way it looks. So I don't know how much a brand new box is worth. I think they're pretty expensive, just like the 410, which I'm going to get to in a second. I've read articles that saying, it's the manufacturers say just because they're so small, they're hard to load and all this bullshit. Speaking of the 410, there's an entire website dedicated to the 410. And one of the guys that does articles for it, I don't know if he's still around or not, he did articles in the Shotgun Sports, I think it is, and he was talking about the 410. And these are 2.5 inch, number 7.5s. And these were $14 a box. The 3-inch, man, I think they were pretty close to $20 a box. Now you can reload these, and one of his articles was that when he was shooting the 410 back in the day, they were the paper shells. And I know Gun Geek and 314-299 were showing off their Lee loaders, and I've got one. It's in 12 gauge. I seen, I guess 314-299. I hope you got that right. We seen he had a 410 one, and the guy was saying they loaded the paper shells great, but they wouldn't load the plastic ones very well. Now I know he did some 410, and our internet's been really screwy, so I haven't been able to see how he made out. I don't know if he was loading the plastic ones or not, see if he had any luck. But another thing, when I was reading those articles on the 28 and the 410, came across something that to be honest with you, I never really thought about, and it's the numbers of the shot size. I just, I wanted 7.5 for shooting clays or 8s, and when I used to hunt, 6s and whatnot. I guess it's a bit convoluted of who came up with the modern shot size. I guess there was a whole bunch back in the day, but if I can't remember the article, I can't find it again. I believe it was some brothers from New York that came up with the modern shot size. And what the numbers are, if you take the number 17, I don't know why it's 17, and subtract the shot size, it gives you the diameter of the shot. So if you take 17 minus 9, you obviously get 8. So that's 0.08 of an inch, or 0.08 inches. Now I happen to have, I don't have any 9s, but I've got some number 8s. I'll have to cut this in because the shot rolled away on me. So these are number 8s. Now if we take 17 and subtract 8, we get 0.090 inches, or 0.09 of an inch. And we measure them here. Now we're going to have a little bit of variance. This is 0.095 inches, and this little guy here is almost 0.09 inches, so it does work out, and there's always a bit of variance. That's why if you see there are charts saying how much shot is in a 2 3/4 number 9, it's an average, because you're going to get different sizes, so you're going to get different pellet counts. The 410, which is the bore diameter of 0.410 inches. I think that's 68 gauge. If you go by gauge, I'll put in a note. I think it's 68. Then the 28 gauge, so that's where that fits in. Then you got your 20 gauge, your 16 gauge, the 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inches. Now I don't have a 10 gauge, so this is a 12 gauge 3.5 inch. And I also don't have the Magnum versions of the 3-inch Magnums because I don't really hunt that much. So these are all just 2 3/4 or 2.5s. Now speaking of the 10 gauge, if you watch Chaos 311, he did some really good videos on how trap and skeet are shot, and he was saying he'd like to see somebody shoot trap and skeet in the 10 gauge. I already put in a comment there, but most of the places I found, the 12 gauge is as big as you can shoot, that they'll let you. And I was just curious, but the smallest 10 gauge I found was, I think it was a number 4 shot. So I was wondering if he'd let you, just take out the number 4 and fill it back with 7.5, with just leaving the wad and the powder of the regular 3.5 inch 10 gauge Magnum. If that would count or not, that'd be kind of cool to see. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that. That's all I got for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the flip side.